going on, everybody? It's a nice brisk day in Colorado Springs. It's about 20-something degrees. It snowed last night, and we figured now's a good time to tell you how we winterized our rig. Now, some of you have been following us for a while, and you're curious and how in the world we've been surviving in the cold and in the winter and in the snow. This should help you with that, but it's mostly geared towards people on YouTube that are just simply looking of how to winterize their RV or travel trailer like we were doing not long ago. So let's go take a look, and I'll show you some tips and tricks of what we did. Well, first things first, you got to keep warm, and the best way to do that is with propane. So we have propane over here. We underestimated how fast we would go through propane. When it's colder, it goes a lot faster. So try to minimize the things that you're using for propane on the inside. Try to use electric if you have those hookups, which we do on our site that we're living at right now. Next is skirting. Skirting is something that I didn't really even know about until we moved into this, but we started to research, and the fancier ones are a lot more expensive, and we certainly don't have that kind of money. So I started to look up how to do a DIY skirting, and this is what we did. When we first moved here in October, a few days later, it was this huge cold snap, and we were rushing around to figure out how in the world to not let everything underneath freeze, because all the tanks are under there, all the pipes. So how we survived that was we just kept the water dripping at night, and we opened up the cupboards to let the hot air from inside of the travel trailer just kind of heat up those pipes, which made a big difference. We were able to keep most of it warm enough to not freeze over, although we had an issue with our hose one night. But we were ready for skirting, and here's what we did. I went to Home Depot and bought 12 of these insulation boards. They're pretty inexpensive. They vary depending on the material, but they were like 11 or 12 bucks a piece. Some of them were a little more expensive because Colorado, they were running out quickly, so I got 2 different kinds. I bought 12 boards, but we only ended up using 8 because I was able to take some of the parts of one or another and cut it up and make it work. And I got this tape that is Flex Fix, and I'll show you a picture, but I believe it's good up to 40 below zero, that's Fahrenheit. So it's been able to stick fine even with all the snow on it, and it's been snowing a lot this winter, so it's been hanging tough and nothing. I mean, we used more than I expected, so buy a couple of rolls is probably a good idea, or 1 roll at a time, but I used at least 2 rolls, I think. There were a couple of tricky spots as I worked my way around. I mean, it's all about like these little decisions if you want to go. Some people went right up to the bottom of it that I saw. I just chose to go to the top and then just tape it straight to the side and just kind of, you know, get it as wedged into the bottom as I could. Of course, every rig's gonna have slightly different things to work around, like, you know, depending on your steps or the shape of it all. I'll show you one of the trickiest spots that I had to think through, and it's on the other side. So this is by far the trickiest spot, was just figuring out how to still have access to our tanks, the black and the gray tank. If you're new to this, the black tank is all of your
junk,
your waste, yeah, and the gray tank is all the stuff from your sink and your shower. So our tank is weird. I don't like it, but I had to figure out how to access it. It's actually underneath the slide out over here, so I had to figure out how to cover it so that when it's snowing or when it's cold, I could block it but still have access to it. So I just cut basically one rectangle, and you can pick it up and slide it, and as you can see, it's also storage under there, but it's a lot easier to access everything, and it's very dry. Clearly it snowed last night, so all is well under there. One thing that I was trying to find online, and I don't feel like I did, I could have probably just kept looking and find it, but is to cover up the black tank. So you can see the hose going in, and I didn't cover everything, but I wanted to cover as much as possible. So I cut this piece out like that, in that shape, and it just lifts up like that and down, just kind of flaps, and I just taped the top right here. And it's been really windy this winter in Colorado Springs in this area. So the only thing I have to do for that is just put the hose like that, and it has done a fantastic job covering it. Another thing that I chose to do, you could do something similar, and I'd love your tips as well for other people, but I kept right here, get a little bit closer, this board right here, because I figured this is going to be the coldest place. so that I can see, just for my peace of mind, what the temperature is inside. And it is about 40 degrees, 39 degrees. So, and it's like 20 degrees out here right now, so it's not going to get any colder than that. So that shows me that it's actually working. So even when it was below zero, like, and the wind chill was far below zero, I'd come out and check this, and I've never seen it lower than this. So it does the trick, and this is it's ghetto, but it works really, really well, and really easy to just access right here. So, and easy access still to the black tank. Another thing that on our learning curve was how to not let the hoses freeze, and we just had to suck it up in the beginning and just buy a heated hose. It has been an absolute lifesaver, because otherwise you can't even let a regular hose be hooked up. We bought this heated hose. I can put a link below. I don't remember how much it was. Hooks up to the ground over here, and then just comes up to the rig right there. I will show you what it looks like under here so that you can physically see it. There's a rock on top of the lid right here just to kind of weigh it down. It's worth it. I want you to see and see how efficient it's been working. I haven't had to worry about this since the beginning. And that's it. Just a blanket wrapped around it, and it has been absolutely fine. Okay, this is going to be a little bit controversial, just because of the different takes on where you put the water filter. If it's, you know, at the connection, so that the hose the whole way through is filtered, or you put the filter at the end so that it doesn't matter about the hose, it's still going to go through. We got a lot of tips to do this. We're noobs. This is what we did. So I'm just showing you our process. But we noticed that on the cold nights and days, this part actually froze, the actual filter itself. So all I did was just go out and buy one of those just pipe foam insulation things. It was really cheap. Taped it up with that tape, and we haven't had a problem since. So one thing that took us by surprise is condensation on the inside. I would love your tips and tricks for that. We have a dehumidifier in there, and we try to balance the temperature on the outside and inside so it limits how much condensation is in the windows, because the last thing you want is mold in your travel trailer or your RV. But other than that, that's all I can think of for now. I would love your tips as well, and your comments and your feedback. Just be nice about it. You can be constructive and like disagree with how we've done things, but let's add into the comments so that we can help other people in the future if they're watching this and looking for tips, just like I was a couple of months ago. So we're gonna go have a fun family day in the snow and go enjoy it. So until next time, do justice, love, mercy, and walk humbly. All right, bye.